Welcome to the Globe Digger Solo Travel Podcast, Episode 7. Today, I'm going to share with you how I sailed to Cartagena, Colombia via the San Blas Islands through from Panama. So basically, I'm going to share how this came about. I'm going to share with you how I prepared for it, what the experience was like, what it was like to be at sea for like 40 hours, the open waters, what the San Blas Islands were like. So just the whole experience. And if you want to read about this, go to my website, globedigger.ca. I've got this blog as well as many other blogs about my travels around the world. In 2022, as many of you know, I traveled around the world. My first stop was Nicaragua. So I'm about, a week and a half in, I would say. I was in San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua, and I was sitting at a bar right here, and I met this guy named James from England. So I'm sitting there, we're having some Tonias, that's Nicaraguan beer, and I'm telling him about my journey. He's like, "Oh, really? So where are you going? What's your plan?" Well, I'm going to go from Nicaragua, and then I'm going to go to Costa Rica. Then I'm going to go to Panama. And then from Panama, I'm going to fly to pick up a plane ticket, and I'm going to fly to Colombia. And he's like, "Dude, you can sail from Panama to Cartagena, Colombia." And I'm like, "What?" So right there, he pulls out his iPhone, and he goes to this website, Blue Sailing. So it's bluesailing.com or bluesailing.net, one of the two. And he shows me, they have all these different packages. They've got these where you can pick your sailboat, you can pick your captain. This is what's included, gives you an overview of it. It's 5 days. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be crazy. How much is this going to be? And then I look, and it's like $500 US. You literally pay $500 US. You're with a group of between 10 and 13 people. And they supply all the meals. You got to bring some of your own stuff. But it's like, wow, this is crazy. So right there, I was in. I booked it, and I was sailing to Cartagena, Colombia, from Panama through the San Blas Islands. And this was for sure going to be one of the most epic parts of this first part of my journey. And honestly, it's one of the most epic things I've ever done in my life. So there I was set to go. So the next few weeks, I was going to be heading to Costa Rica and then into Panama. So I was going to take this time I had to start preparing. Now I'd started with James. We were kind of like, okay, you're going sailing, so you're going to need cigars. You can't go sailing without cigars, and you're going to definitely need some rum. That's the two things, right? You're in the San Blas Islands, crazy backdrops. You're like, can't even believe you're going to be there, and you need a big cigar in one hand, and then you need a rum and Coke in the other hand. So I knew I needed that. So and then the San Blas Blue Sailing on their website, they also provide a list of items. So I picked up the cigars, some Panamanian cigars, as well as the rum when I was in Panama City. Panama, very famous for both, so that's pretty epic in itself, having that beautiful rum and amazing cigars. I had 12 pack of beers. Yeah, you need some beers sometime during the day. They're nice to have. Of course, sunscreen, bug repellent, baby wipes. There's no showers on this sailboat. So you can always jump off. I knew I could always kind of jump in the water. But if you want to actually clean up, you do some baby wipes, which I don't believe I used. Some snacks. They don't provide that. Of course, a bathing suit. And some gravel. And other than that, of course, my regular clothes. I was backpacking around the world, so I'm just going to have my backpack. So I didn't really have to make any notes of that. So this is it. I'm ready to go. The day has come. Today's the day that I start my journey to leave Panama and make my way to Colombia, which was going to be the most epic sailing trip, one of the most epic trips of my life. So there we were, 4 a.m. I'd stayed at the Magnolia Inn in Panama City, which is in the Casco Viejo area. And yeah, I was pretty happy to see that, yeah, it was picking me up. I thought it was going to pick me up and then take me somewhere else, but there was this huge crowd, as you see, like right back there. So there's this big crowd waiting. So virtually everybody that was going on this, not virtually, everybody that was going on this trip was staying at this same place I was, which was, I think, pretty much a fluke because I just booked it on Hostel World and now there I was. So yeah, it was pretty cool. So we had, I think, 3 Jeeps. There was 3 or 4 Jeeps that were taking us. So we got rammed into that Jeep, put all of our stuff on top, and we were about to make, we were set. It was pitch black, and we were about to make our 4-hour journey to the first dock to take us to the San Blas Islands to meet our sailboat. So there we were, making our journey. It was a great chance to meet my crew, at least in my Jeep. There was, I think, 5 of us. I was sitting in the front. I was the oldest. So there was some kids from England. They mostly slept. So, I mean, we talked a little bit, but I was all jacked. I got my phone. I'm taking videos. Here we go. We're going through, all this country roads, and I'm loving it, and I'm just like a kid. It was like Christmas Day for me. So yeah, so we made our way, and it was great when we get there, and it's just like it's your typical kind of boat dock. There was a speedboat waiting for us. We got a chance to start to unpack our stuff, put everything in the boat. Talk to the other sailors. Everybody was there, so this was the first chance to get acquainted, get to know who we're with, and yeah, it was pretty cool, and everybody's excited, and there we go. So then we jumped on to the boat and started to make our way to the next stop, which was going to be our sailboat for the next 5 days ish. All right, we're making our way now. We're on the speedboat. We're just humming along nicely. It's we're heading to the San Blas Islands, and we start going. All of a sudden, it starts to slow down. We see this. It's like a hut. Looked like a hut with a big dock that comes out, and then behind it, there's like a little tiny village. So I'm like, okay, it looks like an immigration dock. I don't know why we're going in here. So everyone's thinking, okay, well, maybe they got stamp our passports, because you're basically leaving Panama and you're going to be heading to Colombia. So you are leaving the country in the next 3 or 4 days. So that's what we figured. Okay, well, I guess they want to quickly take a look at us, talk to us. So we go in there, we stop. And well, as it turns out, that there was the Brits that we were with, they didn't bring any alcohol. So they're like, we're getting on the boat, and they're like, okay, like, where can we stop for alcohol? I guess they must have it on the San Blas Islands. It's like, no, there's nothing. It's like indigenous owned islands with like a family that owns it. There's no beer store. It's like, you're probably out of luck. The boat decided the guy driving the boat, knowing this, and after they told him this on the boat, was nice guy. And he's like, look, I'm going to make my way into this immigration dock and see maybe they can help. So he came in there. Next thing we knew, these Brits were getting off the speedboat, and they were getting on the dock, and all of a sudden, They're loading up with what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's just one shot. That's got to be 8 cases right there. There had to be 10 cases, 12 cases of Balboa beer, which is incredible. And they started loading up the boat. So these guys thought they were fucked. And it's like, and I didn't realize they didn't have any alcohol. He only, I think, had told the guy driving the boat. And it's a good thing he said something at the start, because they were going on this assumption that they were going to have access to alcohol on these islands. And a bunch of, they're like in their early 20s, these people. They're there for a good time and to party. And they were the life of the party in a lot of ways. They, would have been devastating for them. So this was pretty funny. We stopped by. They didn't care about our passports. We're loaded up with some beer. They get back into the speedboat. They paid them. They threw them some money, however much it cost. And we were now, for real, making our way to our sailboat. So as our speedboat starts to approach, there we go. We see it. We see an island. All right, this looks more like a San Blas Island. We see a sailboat. We start to roll in, and as we get there, they have the Bob Marley cranking on the boat. Total island vibe. We had a chance to meet our crew. There was 2 girls and then Captain Dan. The one called her Shakira. She was a Colombian. She didn't really look like Shakira, but that's just what I called her. And this other girl from Spain. So the vibe was there. It was set. They were greeting us. And we get there. We get on the boat. We're like, wow, here we are. And we spent about I want to say an hour, we might have spent a couple hours actually, just right there. This is the basically start of the San Blas Islands, the launch. And yeah, it was great. We had a chance to sit there on the outside, catch some sun, out on the boat deck. And well, that's the first time where we really, okay, now we're here and we're kind of telling stories about, our journeys and where we're from. I think we had a couple drinks at that point. Went out for a swim. We had our first lunch. And then from there, we were ready. There we were. Our journey in the San Blas Islands was officially starting. And this was going to be my life for at least for the next 3 days, touring these magnificent islands. So there we were ready to set sail, and we were starting our journey into the San Blas Islands and start exploring, which was going to be the life for the next 3 days anyways. So yeah, we start going and we're not 20 minutes in. It's like just started, and you could see some people. There was this German girl, I remember, that they were feeling uneasy. It was like they're a bit queasy, and you were already seeing those early signs of seasickness. And this is one of those things you don't know until you do this and sail if you have an issue with it. And right away, so these were 3 or 4 people. It's like, yeah, they're gonna seriously have a problem. But yeah, so there we were off, and we were getting ready to go to our first island, which was going to be our spot for the night. So we arrived at the first island and go in, lay the anchor down, which is a hell of a lot more work than I ever would have realized when you're in, I guess, waters that deep. And so yeah, there we were. And yeah, it was just, so there was San Blas Islands, beautiful island. It's like this most like remote, epic, luxurious beach you'd ever see in your life, just from a distance. And it's like, wow, this is just us. There's your indigenous family, but there's nobody else. I mean, we're going to own this island for the next 24 hours. So and I'm not a really strong swimmer, so we were pretty close to the beach, But I decided, I met this kind of my first friend there was this guy, Adrian from the Netherlands, and decided we were kind of starting to hang out a little bit and decided that I was going to swim over. So I did, and I made it. And there I was on this island, and there you actually, I know you can't get like cases of beer, but they actually did have, this place had just the family there. They were selling beers for like, I don't know, $2, $3, something like that. They actually use US currency in Panama. So yeah, we were able to grab a beer, walk the island, nobody around. It was just us. We were on our deserted remote island pretty much, only they had a little beer hut. So it was pretty surreal. And it was just an awesome day. Stayed over there pretty much all day and came back more or less for dinner. It was on the way back though that I was like, okay, I told you I wasn't a really strong swimmer. I said that earlier. Now, coming back though, tide's coming in. I'm alone. Adrian had gone over and I was just kind of get lost in the moment, I guess. So they do have a dinghy that I don't know if I could have yelled and got somebody to come, but anyways, I looked and I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to do this. So I'm gonna have to just go. I think if I just take my time, I can do it. The boat it's not that far. So I start swimming and I'm doing all right, but it's different, much easier going there than already coming back against the tide. Because it's about 5, 6 o'clock probably at this point. And I start to there was a couple times I'm like, okay, I just got to take it easy, catch my breath. And then I had to do it again. There's one point where I had to stop and I'm like, wow, I'm completely cooked. And I look up and it looks like if I maybe had 80 meters, maybe something like that to go. So I was like, you know what, Jeff, you're just going to have to put your head down and just go. I was pretty fit at this point. So I just put my head down and I just kept dialing straight ahead. And then I felt something and it was the end of the boat. So I knew I was there and I literally just hung on at the back of that boat for about 15 minutes, just catching my breath. I was that spent. So anyways, just a little bit of a side story, but I'll be much more careful doing this again. Hey, not a strong swimmer, that's all right. You don't take your life in your hands, but that could have ended badly. But here I am to tell about it. So then the evening came, and this is night 1, okay, in San Blas. And the captain says, okay, guys, tonight we're going to go over to the island and we're going to have a bonfire. So there we are. I'm grabbing my rum. I'm like, yeah, I'm going over to this island for sure. I'm going to have some rum, bring it over. So I didn't have to swim. This time we took our dinghy over and there we are at night. So we get there, we walk through, there's this area and there's the natives, the indigenous, these two guys, and they've got the big palm tree leaves, and that's how they're throwing them on the fire, and that's how they're keeping it going. We're all sitting around this fire area, and we're overlooking there's like these palm trees, and there it is. There's the stars, there's the still ocean, the water. And it's just like something right out of the movies. Like we're on this deserted island, 13 of us, we're stuck there and we're just living the moment. So, yeah, and I had my rum and I remember these two guys working the fire that I don't know if the captain was paying them or whatever. And I got my bottle of rum. I kind of give them a nod. They nod back and you want some? And so I didn't have any, I just had basically my cup and then I had the little cap. So these guys, throughout the whole night, they kept coming over and they kept raising their hand like they wanted some more rum. So I just kept sharing it. There we were. There I was. I should have took a picture with these guys. But anyways, I was just in the moment. So it's, there we were doing shots of rum in the San Blas Islands with these guys having this night of epic experience with 12 new friends. And yeah, so just this whole first day being on the beach and then going over there at night around that bonfire was absolutely epic. Yeah, so these islands, man, these beaches, I've been all over the world, and I've been on beaches like in all through Europe, Thailand, Vietnam, Costa Rica, you name it. Bocas del Toro, even in Panama. But nothing matches these beaches in the San Blas Islands. You do need to get there by sailboat. So you'd have to get some sort of a sailing tour to get there. There's no big cruise ships. They can't come in. But you know what? It's like you're the only ones on the islands. So when you're there might be one or two sailboats. Usually you're the only sailboat sitting there that night by that island. You own the island. They look deserted. There's stuff lying around. There's no crews going around cleaning it up. There's monkeys running around. It feels like you're stranded on a remote island. That's basically what it's like something from Gilligan's Island or something like that. Like it's just epic, and do it. If you get a chance to go to San Blas, do it. You'll have the time of your life, and you'll never have an experience like this again. It's unique, and you'll never be on beaches like this ever again. We were about to, it was about to begin. We were going to really be tested in terms of what we were made out of. And we were about to take the next 2 days after 3 days in the San Blas Islands, and we were going to be on open water, rough water, 40 hours of it at sea, making our way to Cartagena, Colombia. So we had a quick huddle. Captain Dan gave us the rules. Look, there's no, things like be careful. There's no falling off this thing. We lose anybody on this thing at night, especially, you're gone. That's it. We'll never find you. Even during the day, it'd be probably almost impossible. But at night, forget it. And so he just gave us the rules, the reality of it. Say, look, this is sailing. You're going across the open waters. We could hit a hurricane. We could hit crazy winds. Thankfully, this has never happened, but this could happen. So it was a safety meeting, just so we're all, in terms of understanding the rules. There was things like no going out on the deck at night. You all stay down here, all together, just safer. And yeah, so we were ready to go. And now the fun began. So I mentioned before, we had 2 or 3 people that were sick. No, they weren't sick. They were starting to feel queasy. They were already having a rough time. And I was like, wow, this is going to be interesting once we hit the sea, the Caribbean Sea. And so now it's set in. So after we were out there for maybe even 8 hours, people started to drop off. People were getting sick. And at the end of it, almost all of us got sick, except for 3 of us. There was me and these 2 Irish dudes, and we got all, from now on, whatever was left in terms of beer was going to us. And because it was the other 10 were just the back of the boat starting to heave, and this would be a trend through the rest of the journey. So during the day, yeah, it was amazing. Sun was beaming on you. We're all out the whole day, out on the deck. There's no cell phones. You can't, no cell phone coverage. You can't. It's pretty awesome because you're literally out here. We're shutting it down for 5 days. I was completely out of signal, to the point where I had SOS calls coming back home in Canada. But that's another story. We'll get into that another time maybe. But yeah, just enjoying it, having my Balboas, my rum, cigars. We're watching all these flying fish come through constantly. That was our big thing. We were like, okay, we're going to see the next group of flying fish. I'd never seen that before, so it was pretty cool seeing that. And just, yeah, just enjoying it. And so for like 10, 12 hours, there we all were just hanging out on that boat. And it was amazing. And if you've never been on at the open sea, it's pretty incredible. And there was actually one point, like our boat didn't have any fancy, there was no fancy navigation or anything. And I remember Captain Dan, he's like, Jeff, come here. I'm like, okay, what's up, Dan? He says, can you see anything over there? I'm like, I don't know. And then I look again, I'm like, yeah, I do actually. Like I say, barely. It looks like it's a little nothing. He said, okay, good. There's a boat 10 miles away. So I guess apparently, as far as the eye can see at open seas, 10 miles. So he changed course. He's like, so when you're doing this open sea, if there's any other boat in sight, you got to turn. So always has to be wide open. There's literally nothing around but some flying fish, some dolphins, things like that. So it's, yeah, it was pretty, the daytime was, yeah, definitely a lot of fun and a great reset. Now, as the sun would go down, of course, we would all be out there on the boat and we would watch the sun go down. It's really, you're dealing with among the greatest sunsets you'll ever see in your life on the open waters. And then we'd come in and the group would all come in around the tables and the crew would cook a meal, have some drinks. The meals were always incredible. And it was just fun time, like a fun, like almost like your best friends around like a kitchen table at home, just having some drinks, playing cards, doing whatever you do, playing all sorts of drinking games, different things. And it was just, yeah, it was amazing. But then when you at night, and I'll never forget some of these evenings, actually going back to where I was sleeping. And there was nights, man, where I didn't know if we were going to make it. Like I thought this boat was going to fall apart into pieces. Just boom, boom. Like it's just for real. Like you just hardly sleep. You're just like, okay, this is absolutely nuts. Like it's not like sleep and like you're on a cruise or something like that. It's like it's damn stressful. And I'm serious. I didn't know if I was going to wake up. I said, well, if this is the end, I've just had a great time and this will be a good way to go. So, but yeah, that one night, man, I didn't sleep more than 2 hours. I swear it was crazy. It was incredible at night though. Just watching the stars, just watching these. I remember this one night, the glowing fish, and it's like, yeah, these glowing fish, and then right behind them would be dolphins chasing the glowing fish, like eating them, and we just watched that forever. But yeah, it was just the whole evening experience was just different than the day, but still amazing. Absolutely loved it. Something I learned at sea is that you're out there for 40 hours and there's nowhere to go. So when things go wrong, you've got to band together and figure it out. And that's exactly what happened. We were maybe 14 to 16 hours in, something like that. And we lost a sail. And it was like, I don't know what was going on. Like, it was like everything went completely frantic. There's like, people were jumping in, doing stuff. I remember him calling me, looking at me, and the captain, this is Captain Dan, and just having me he said, Jeff, just start cranking this. So I'm cranking. I don't even know what I'm really doing, but everybody's just going. And it was complete mayhem and chaos for a good, I don't know how long, but it seemed like hours. It probably wasn't. It was probably like a few minutes or 10 minutes or something like that. But it was like, and that thing was hard to move. And anyways, to sum it up, we never got it back. That was the end of it. And we actually finished the journey without a sail. I mean, I'm not a sailor. I don't know. Maybe we had one still. I guess we must have had something. But we yeah, it was like, because I remember him telling us, he said, yeah, no, there's no problem. We can still, we can glide in. We've got a motor, all this other stuff. And we pulled it off, but it was like, yeah, pretty crazy. That was, it was a crazy experience. And this journey really did, it checked off everything. And this was another thing that was, part of the experience. And, as long as we get to Cartagena safely, everybody's happy. All right, here we come. After 40 hours at sea, we saw it. We could see the skyline. I remember I was just waking up early, and I was like, okay, looks like we're going, everything's calm. It's not, the waves aren't insane like they were the night before. And it was like the most beautiful sunrise ever. And we just like gliding in to Cartagena. We're all excited after, especially, the 3 days in San Blas were amazing. But these 2 days were incredible in their own way, really tested your mettle. And it was, it was beautiful. And, got some nice shots with the sun behind me rolling in. And so we were coming in. We finally made it, and it was just one of the most incredible journeys. And it was going to be now in Colombia for the next 30 days, and absolutely thrilled. Then we arrived, took a picture with the crew and our everybody that sailed with us, which was it was awesome. And then it was the easiest. It was such a breeze going through immigration in Cartagena, Colombia. Arriving, I'd never had to go that easy. We literally just provided our passports to Captain Dan, and then Dan just took them. We literally went and walked around Cartagena. Went to a restaurant with the group, had some lunch, had a couple beers. We all came back to the sailboat, and then gave us our passports back, stamped, and then we were there. That was it. We could go freely. We were in Cartagena, Colombia. Had a great night out with everybody from the boat that night, which, that's another story. But that first night in Cartagena, honestly, was one of my best nights out too. And that's going to be another blog. So stay tuned for that one. Just my top nights out in Colombia, in the world, and as I go. And that first night in Cartagena is one for the ages. So this was 5 days. It was a 5-day adventure. It was absolutely incredible. It was an experience that I will never forget. And anybody, if you want to do this, just go to bluesailing.net, read my blog. It's got all the backlinks. Everything's there. I'll try and put some links too maybe in the comments for Blue Sailing as well, just so you can, you can check them out. And this is a once in a lifetime experience. And it's something that all the time when people ask, what are your highlights of your trip around the world? This is always in the top 3. How I sailed to Cartagena, Colombia from the San Blas Islands. And I'm happy I was able to put this into a podcast and articulate it. And I did my best in terms of just, this was from start to finish. This was the experience. Enjoy. And thanks for listening, and happy travels. Peace.